Hey, good morning. It is early morning. I'm going to be using the Gibbs again today, and the Nacet is the blade that's in it. It'll be the second use. And for several hours, I've had my Stirling soaking. Some of the other boars that are in my rotation right now, I've accidentally left them soaking for that long. I don't think I've done it with the Stirling, and this guy's been reticent to get soft and comfy. And so I thought, if I want to do that to somebody, let's do that to this one tonight. And that worked out because of my weird schedule. And so the bristles are, man, this guy feels like a broom. He's really stiff when he's dry, but he still has a good bit of backbone. I can't compress it too much there because of the amount of hairs we're dealing with here. But let's just see how he works today. Did I say Stirling? Yes, this is a Stirling Boar, 24 millimeter, I believe. I have pressed a quarter teaspoon of the soap into the bottom of my lather bowl. It's a very soft soap, almost like a cream, like a thick cream. And this is the Glide Base from Cold River Soap Works. And this is the winter scent. There's a sample generously provided by an online viewer. And looking forward to trying it. In many cases, I don't like winter type scents because so many times they want to throw in really strong fir or spruce type scents, and that's not usually my thing. And there's also some other type spices that many times accompany a winter scent. But what I'm getting off the dry puck right now, I'm definitely getting the cranberry that's in that scent. And there's some other things in there as well. Their notes say that eucalyptus, citrus, ozone. Now they say nuances of cranberry, but it really stands out to me as something easy to pick up. Mid notes of warm spices, carnation, and tuberose. Blend into a warm base of cedar and balsam. I tell you what, it took me some Google foo to find that description because this is not a current, I believe. It's not a current soap in their line, and so I had to find somebody's comment from the middle of nowhere to get this info. So yeah, this does have some cedar and balsam, so it does have some of those conifer type notes. Let's see what we can pick up. Yeah, that cranberry, now the ozone has stepped out. I can smell that. Interesting. Let's see what else we pick up as we shave. All right, I am going to go ahead and wet my face just briefly. And we'll take and shake most of the water, and this is distilled water that this has been soaking in. Shake most of it out. So this brush and my Omega 10098 are the two in my Boar rotation of 7 brushes that is just being hesitant to get all comfy and soft tips and stuff. But only, this will be its 14th use. So it's still a young brush. It's nothing to be concerned about. I just dried the handle right there. Easier to hold when it's dry. Cold River is a great soap maker, and you just don't see too much from them on the boards, the shave of the day posts, that sort of thing. I mean, already with not very much water, look at what we've got. My mind wants to tell me that I'm smelling one of those rose scents, like the carnation or the tuberose. but it's very small. It's very a small part of the accord so far, and so I don't mind it. It's helpful. It's a helper, not some kind of dominant note. Wow, this is it doesn't look like I'm going to need to be adding very much water to this at all. And sometimes ones that kind of resemble creams are that way. So let me fill up my syringe. Put a little bit of water in there. Half teaspoon. So just the small amount of water that was in the brush was enough to take the lather a good ways. I believe this brush is in, I don't know if the last time I shaved with it, if it was in the comfortable zone. But it wasn't in a prickly type feel anymore. Let's add just a little bit more. And the one nice thing about it is there's just so many bristles that it divides up that pressure. I believe it has been giving me a nice massagey kind of feeling as we waited for those tips to split and get super soft. Unlike the 1800 Smoke I used the other day, this brush gives me the feeling like I could poke and shove and really grind away at whatever I'm working with. That 1800 has relaxed its backbone so much that I think I'm going to have to add an O-ring to it. No fear on this one. So I believe, as I just stuck my nose in the bowl here for a second, that what I'm picking up now in lather form is very similar to what I picked up in dry. I'm picking up that ozone, the cranberry, and maybe a little bit of the florals, and just bare hints of those woody notes. And that makes it very interesting. This makes it one of maybe the few winter scents that I might actually losing about maybe 4 or 5 hairs this shave here, but not a problem because it's still young. It makes it one of the more interesting winter scents that I've smelled. I wouldn't actually mind, continuing to use this. The base looks really nice, very creamy, got a nice gloss to it. The viscosity feels really good. Still kind of holding together pretty well. Kind of difficult to coax that off, but look at that. I might just add just a tiny bit more water. And I think that might be it. Okay, let's look at the consistency now. Not too different from a second ago. Another way is to kind of stretch it like that. See, it doesn't get too long. It's not super elastic. Do a little finger test here. Yeah, I think that might be where I need to stop. It still feels very slick, but I do feel the ridges in my fingerprints just a little bit. So why don't we stop there and see what happens. A bit of water on my face. So this guy had a chance to soak this brush for quite a while. Let's see if he changes. For a good while there, I did not want this to be the brush I was using if I was shaving with something that was going to be kind of aggressive for me, or a little hot, or something that would cause a little bit of razor burn, because the scrubbing action here could give me some, that could make that worse. All right, so how did it feel? It felt okay. It felt pretty stiff still, but not the tips quite as much. Wasn't prickly at all, nothing like that, no scritch. Still kind of massagey, you know, and it wasn't too difficult to lay down the layer that I wanted. Definitely feel like I got clean from it. All right, Gibbs. Yesterday I bumped it up to 4 for the first pass, and all it didn't get too aggressive. Very cool. Sometimes with like the Rockwell, for instance, I would enjoy shaving at like a 3. When I'd bump it up to a 4, it would be a little worse. I mean, a little more aggressive. Then 5 was just a big step. And so that wasn't, the 5 and the 6 plate just weren't really usable for me, which is okay. The 3 and the 2 especially gave me great shaves, but especially in an adjustable like this, wouldn't it be great if the range that you can use is not just 2 numbers, or that you enjoy using is not just 2 numbers, but more of the range. So this is, we're going to put it on a number 5 today and see what happens. There's that red dot on the ring to show you. All right. A little dip in the water. Again, this just doesn't feel too aggressive, so that's cool. Now that what is that bad news for? Anybody who really likes aggressive razors then is not gonna, might be a little disappointed that they don't have that it doesn't go as high as it does, you know. But for people like me, it's probably really good news. A little bit over 24 hours worth of growth. More like 30. And there we go. Quick and easy knockdown. Not super amounts of glide. So I may add a little bit more water to this lather. It was just a little slow, and there's no residual slickness right here at all. So I'm going to add some more water to that. My video is taking a while to pause. Maybe you'll just have to, who knows, maybe I won't be able to stop it later on. That one may have been the first pass, may have been a little draggy, a little slow, but I tell you what, when I went for the rinse, I felt a very smooth face, much more smooth than usual. And so this particular setting may be one that lets me stick with just 2 passes. So yeah, this is still a very scrubby brush with lots of backbone, especially in the core of the bristles there. It may not relax, you know, in terms of the backbone. It may stay at this strength, I mean, the tips are going to get softer as they split, but the backbone may never change. So we'll just have to see how it feels when the tips are soft. All right, let's back it down to a 4 now that we've knocked everything down. I've got another glide base, I mean a scent in the glide base. That's another one. Can't remember if I tried it or not. I did recently use Cold River's. Ooh, a little ding there. I think maybe I went the wrong direction. My neck is just more sensitive, so. And this is the one area where if where I can get irritation, even if I'm being kind of careful. Sometimes I'll get dinged right there with a little bit of razor burn if I go the wrong direction. There must be a grain direction switch right there, and I'm just not accounting for it well enough. It's not starting any blood, so that's fine. All right, let's rinse this away. Yeah. So while this is not leaving me with residual slickness pretty much at all, I do have a 2-pass shave. That's really rare for me. The Nacet is going to be partly responsible for that, but I just got to think it's the aggression of this little guy, and it's being aggressive while being really quite smooth, and so it's remarkable. It reminds me of the Fatipa razors, the Gentile and the Grande, or the Piccolo, depending on which handle you have, about how comfortable yet efficient they are. And wow, that's impressive. I did get a little sting in that area when I was rinsing. You know, water can do that. Still no blood, so we're good. I don't even feel it right now. So wow, what a great shave. It's a good little razor. So that setting of 5 would really knocks down that hair. You still have to be careful with it if you've got some grain changes and you're susceptible to that kind of razor rash because of those. I'm guessing maybe my hair's just laid so close to the skin. I don't know. All right, well, very cool. I don't even feel like I need to do another rinse. I think we're good. Figure out what kind of post shave I want to put on. Well, let's forgo post shave for now. I want to see how this makes my skin feel. Give you an idea whether it dries me out or not. Probably won't. I do have oily skin, but so we have tons of lather left over. 2-3 passes. So that's pretty cool. It's a nice efficient soap, so I don't need to, well, remember, it was a 2-pass shave. So this would probably be just about right if I did my normal 3-pass shave. So still 1/4 teaspoon looks like might be the best amount to use, which is pretty standard. But it's an attractive lather. Now a lot of times, look how many spikes and things like that we have on this. A lot of times I do push my lathers a little further. It's possible that if I were to add more water to this, then it might be more slick. Maybe it would keep a little more of that residual slickness. And so it's possible I underwatered it just a hair. But the look and appearance and feel, it didn't really look like it was too thin on my face when it was on there. And so I may have dialed it in just right, but maybe I'll play around with it. So it's definitely earns a spot because of one of my favorite winter scents, because it doesn't have a lot of the gotchas that I don't like about a lot of winter scents that are out there. So very cool. One nice thing about the boar brushes, because they're just not so dense with those badger hairs, that it just took that long to rinse it out, clean it. It's rinsed. It's rinsed nicely. So after each shave, I'll go to my towel, especially with these boar brushes that kind of need to have their ends split. Just strop it up and down like this. This is something I'll usually not include in the video because most of you guys know what this is. Just move into a section of the dry towel. And that'll get your boars and stuff nicely dry enough to be able to sit and dry the rest of the way themselves. And it looks like research has told the shaving community it doesn't matter whether you set it like this to dry or if you hang it to dry. Now if I use just one brush, I would have a brush rack and hang it because you know, dust settles during the day and things like that. That's the only reason I might not to have it dry faster, but just to look nice and also to keep that dust away from the inside of the brush. If I'm using it every day or every other day, it's less of a problem because you're washing what little dust away is there, but you know, that's just me. So yeah, nice soft tips, soft, getting soft. They're not super soft yet, but still, you can see how the tips bend, but then once the bending gets down halfway down the bristle, it gets pretty rigid still because of the density there and just because of the stiffness of these bristles. So this will be a really interesting brush to see what happens when these tips continue splitting. So I ended up just using the 2 teaspoons that were in the 1 syringe. And I wonder if maybe I should push it a little further, but I don't know. As I looked on my face, it didn't look too thick. But if I pushed it further, it would be because I was trying to get to that state where the maybe I had more residual slickness. So it's really funny. The one remark I have about this soap, it's very good. It gave me a close shave, but glide wouldn't be the word. It was a little bit slower than most other soaps out there. So I might call it drag, but I've experienced some other, I think the Select is another grade of soap that they have there at the at Cold River, and it's done really well for me. I've used that a couple times. And then the Shop and Milk was really good. I enjoyed that one. So they're a good soap company. They've got good stuff. I wouldn't be afraid to try them out. But next time I use this one, I'll definitely be adding some more water to see what I get. See if I can improve the speed. It wasn't even a problem though. It's just lower than usual. You know, I mean, I moved across, and maybe, who knows, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe by slowing it down a little bit, maybe it helped it to cut better. You know, that could have been fortuitous. Maybe a little happy accident. Sometimes those happen. Well, we're all cleaned up. So I hope this has been helpful for you in some way. Maybe there's not too many Cold River shaves out there. But this was the Glide base, and it was pretty soft. Winter was the scent. I just finished talking about the performance. We don't need to redo that. The brush did well. Still got that firm core, even though the tips are reasonably comfortable and massagey. They're not soft yet, but I'm sure they'll get there. The razor did amazing with just 2 passes. I have not put on any balm yet or anything like that, and I could easily walk away from this shave without any post-shave product. So that's something that speaks well for the soap as well. All right, speaking of that, let's see what we have down there. You know what I feel like today? I just feel like a little Tallow and Steel Classic. And as I recall, this does not have alcohol, and so it shouldn't bother my skin. Sometimes if I put on an alcohol splash right after a shave, it irritates my skin a little bit. And if I want that, I would need to apply it like an hour or two after the shave to get the nice smell. Yeah, this feels good. These are one of my, the Tallow and Steel may not have too many soaps that I enjoy, but I really like their post-shave. I really like their after their splashes. Classic, just kind of a nice orange type scent. Oak moss, vetiver, some kind of wood that I can't pronounce, patchouli, geranium, anise, rosemary, lavender, and bergamot. Man, that bergamot is jumping out at me, but it's the last one listed. And that wood is, starts with a G, guaiac wood, or something like that. Anyway, really nice blend, not too florally at all. The geranium and is not strong enough to mess with anything. So I like this blend. Nice. It's definitely worthy of the name classic, to me at least. So there we go. We're good. Face is feeling fine. The little ding I got, I don't even know if it stirred up any red razor rash. I mean, maybe a tiny hint of it. But we're in good shape. It's a great shave. Ended up to be 2 passes. So there we go. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You take care. Have a good day.